So one of their biggest car manufacturer, EV car manufacturer by BYD, they're looking to produce about 49,000 new cars in Canada. Welcome to the TF Team podcast series, 2026 edition. This is our third podcast for the year, and this is news that you could use, hopefully. So what's new in 2026? Well, guess what? It's the same old. Nothing new under the sun. Inflation is still up. Still, mind you, within the Bank of Canada parameters, inflation as of December has increased to 2.4% from 2.2. The Bank of Canada likes it to be between 1% and 3%. They aim for the middle. They would like it to be around 2. So we're still in target. So what could we expect in 2026? Well, I think we could expect that inflation will still be within the Bank of Canada's range. So that is positive news. I know there's a lot of things that could impact that, such as the tariffs in the US, but we really don't have too much control over that. So let's focus on what we can control. And as a result of that, hopefully that inflation will not rear its ugly head. What else has happened in the past week or so? Unemployment has gone up despite jobs increasing. Now, how could that happen? Unemployment goes up and the number of jobs that was created last month has also increased. Well, what has happened is that even though the number of jobs has increased, the number of people that has joined in the labor force has also increased. So as a result of that, it kind of reduced the impact of the job increase. What else has happened? Oil is in the news. So we know about Venezuela and everything that has impacted oil prices. And so this is something to basically kind of look at. We saw reduction in oil prices, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye out regards to what happens in Venezuela. The only thing to remember is that even if the U.S. has taken control of Venezuela and their oil production, it's going to take a long time. It's probably going to take about a year or so before the production comes into play. So there's still kind of a long-term wait and see. So right now, for our Canadian oil out of Alberta and part of the prairies, it's still the status quo, but we're still keeping an eye out. What else has happened this past week? Well, Mark Carney has been on a road trip. He's gone to Qatar, he's gone to China, and signed some type of memorandum of understanding, an MOU. And as a result of that, it appears that tariffs on our canola oil from the prairie provinces, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, will be dropped. And it's kind of quid pro quo. So they're going to drop their tariffs on canola oil, and what do we give in return? Well, we're going to give them access to our EV, electric vehicle market in Canada. So one of their biggest car manufacturer, EV car manufacturer by BYD, they're looking to produce about 49,000 new cars in Canada. Well, it kind of ruffled a few feathers. So if you're Doug Ford, you're not happy about that. But you've got to take everything in perspective. 49,000, that's like 3% of all new car sales in Canada. So it is a fraction. It's still in the pipeline. It's not that it's going to be overnight that this will occur, but at least the positive. We got to look at the positive. If there is a buzzword for 2026, let's call it positivity. Let's see if we could stay positive. The positive side is we're talking with China and others looking to diversify our economy, and talking is better than not talking other countries around the world. It used to be a frosty relation that we had with China. hopefully now we'll have a more positive relationship with China. Amongst all of that, amongst a lot of the tensions that we're seeing around the world, the stock market keeps going up, right? So early 2026, the markets, Canada, US, and overseas still looks to be positive. The TSX reached another new high recently, so that is good. So we anticipate that the market in 2026 will be not necessarily as good as 2025, but definitely positive and potentially again, into the high single digits or potentially even in the double digit. So what segment of the market looks like that will continue to increase? Technology is probably one, but gold, silver, precious metals, with all of that anxiety around the world, with all the various chaos in the world, gold tends to be kind of a commodity that people gravitate towards as safe haven. And as a result of that, gold prices has reached all-time high. So that could be a positive if you're well diversified in your portfolio, to have a little segment in your gold or precious metal in your portfolio. One couple of things that we saw in the news: Trump proposes a 10% cap on credit cards. Positive news. So, what that means, the average credit card in Canada is about 21.9, or some as high as 24.9%. If this were to be implemented in Canada, that would have significant reduction in interest costs. But at the moment, it's not in the cards in Canada, but it is something that they're talking about in the U.S. So we know that we have kind of a symbiotic relationship. What happens in the U.S. kind of gravitates into Canada. So we could see certain things that has happened in the U.S. or will happen in the U.S. will kind of come to Canada. So we'll keep an eye on that. And lastly, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're thinking of putting your foot in the market, dipping your toe into the real estate market, 2026 will prove to be probably a good year if you are a buyer, because Ontario expects lower prices in housing markets. So if you're a first-time home buyer, keep a lookout. We'll be having webinars to discuss how to enter this market. If you are a seller like we are, about to sell a property, maybe it's not a good thing, but you know what? Keep it positive. Keep it positive. It means that maybe, others will be able to benefit on the Canadian dream of home ownership. So all these, hopefully it's news that you could use. And again, stay positive. All these news will tend to be able to push our economy forward. And as a result of that, we could see potential gains in various markets. So please like and subscribe to our podcast if you enjoyed what you heard. And we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.